This is a story that is enough to touch the hearts of viewers not only in the UK but around the world. A woman seemingly ordinary and charming, but on the inside a cunning, dangerous and murderous mind who preyed on her husbands under the guise of love. Her name is Dena Thompson, Britain's infamous Black Widow. She married 3 men. 2 of them she trapped in her diabolical web and put to eternal sleep, while the third, the lucky one, only miraculously returned from the brink of death. Dena not only weaponized love but left behind a long list of serious crimes such as financial fraud, identity theft, and conspiracy to murder. This is not just the story of one woman, but it is a glimpse into a mind that is also a murderer, an actor, and a deceiver. Dena Thompson was born Dena Penny. She was born on January 27, 1960, to a middle-class family in the United Kingdom. Her childhood was seemingly ordinary. There are not many detailed public records about her parents, but what is clear is that Dena was known as an attractive, eloquent, and cunning girl. According to some reports, she was an expert at lying and making up stories from a young age, and controlling others for her own benefit was part of her nature. Education. Dena's educational record is also limited, but it is generally believed that she received an education up to school level. She was not an exceptional student, but her intelligence and ability to influence others were notable. During her education, she had learned how effective it is to be one thing on the outside, another on the inside to control people. First jobs. Dena worked various temporary jobs in her youth. She had worked in positions such as secretary, clerk, or admin assistant. In these jobs, she developed her interpersonal skills and learned to use her communication skills as a weapon. During some of her jobs, she was also suspected of fraud or financial irregularities, but no formal charges were filed. Early relationships and connections. Dena's personal life was also quite complicated. As a teenager, she began to use relationships for her own benefit. She sought out men who were lonely, vulnerable, or emotionally unstable. She would feign love, show sympathy, and then gradually gain control over their finances, property, or lives. Her first husband, to whom she was legally married, was the man through whom Dena laid the foundation for her criminal life. From there, her series of lies, fraud, and hypocrisy began, which led to murder. Dena Thompson married her first husband, a simple-minded and trusting man named Lee Waite. They met at a social event, and Dena soon lured him into her trap under the guise of love and sympathy. Soon after the wedding, Dena began asking Lee for money, sometimes in the name of business, sometimes under the pretext of illness. Soon, Lee was in debt, his bank account was empty, and his life began to fall apart. He discovered that Dena had fake identities and had committed fraud before. When Lee raised questions, Dena began threatening to commit suicide, and then one day she took everything and disappeared, as if she had never been there. The marriage was just the beginning, the first step in Dena's criminal journey. Dena Thompson's second husband was Barry Cowan, a kind, respectful, and serious man who married Dena for love. At first, everything was normal, but then Dena's behavior began to change. She began to cheat on Barry, tried to control him, and gained complete control over his finances. And then came that fateful day in 2000. Dena invited Barry to her house on her birthday. She first gave Barry chocolates laced with a drug. As soon as Barry fell unconscious, Dena tied him to a chair and then attacked him with a knife. But fortunately, Barry saved himself at the last moment and informed the police. This incident was the turning point that opened the door to proving Dena the murderer. Dena Thompson's third husband was Julian Webb, a peaceful and positive-minded man. The two met through a personal ad. They soon became close, and in 1999 they married. Julian had no idea he was marrying a woman who had already ruined one man and had already murdered another. Just a few weeks after their wedding, Julian was found mysteriously dead in his home. The cause of death was ruled a heart attack, but the family was suspicious. Police initially closed the case, but later, when the Barry Cowan attack came to light, Julian's body was exhumed. The investigation revealed that Julian had been given a poison, a premeditated murder plot. After the attack on Barry Cowan, police began investigating Dena. It soon became apparent that she had cheated on various men under multiple false identities. In each relationship, she resorted to lies, fraud, and emotional blackmail. Police found forged documents, various bank accounts, and insurance policies at her home. Lewitt said Dena had committed financial fraud and fled. Barry Cowan described the attack in detail in court. Bank records proved that Dena had taken out loans and insurance, money in the names of her husbands. When Julian Webb's body was exhumed, forensics confirmed death by poisoning, a homicide. After all the evidence and the testimonies of the victims, Dena Thompson was charged with murder, attempted murder, and financial fraud. In 2003, a British court found her guilty of the murder of Julian Webb and the attempted murder of Barry Cowan. The court sentenced her to life in prison, and the judge described her as a scheming, dangerous, and ruthless woman. Dena remains in prison today, where she faces her fate. A woman who played the game of death in the name of love. Love, trust, and relationships, where they bind people together. Sometimes there is also someone who can turn them into a means of destruction. Dena Thompson disguised death as love and changed the lives of 3 men, taking one's life, leaving one physically injured, and another financially ruined. But no conspiracy, no matter how cleverly concocted, can stand up to the truth. Dena is in prison today, and her story reminds us that some faces, as beautiful as they may appear, can be just as dangerous. This was the Black Widow of Britain, the truth of Dena Thompson. Do you think Dena Thompson really got justice? Or is something still being hidden? Be sure to share your thoughts in the comments. If you found this story interesting, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and press the bell icon so that future stories can reach you immediately.